Hey everyone, my name is Christian, and I'm the writer and director of Static. I actually filmed Static as I was in a move from one state to another state. Luckily enough, the two lead actors of my film, Chris and Lanny Hill, who play Trin and Dev, are my housemates. So there was no halt in production, which was very, very great. The first scene in this film actually has Trin and Dev busting into their apartment, and one of the first things that happens is Dev asks Trin to bring him some candles. The candles in this film are actually a visual representation of these two characters' souls, or their humanity. I wanted that to be a big part of this film because I was trying to showcase the human side and the electronic side of our lives. In my film, electricity and just the TV, everything, the phone, it's all a pathway to destruction. And it's trying anything to destroy the humanity that is in these two characters. There's the sequence on the second part of the film, the second scene of the film, where it's Trin and Dev. Dev is being hypnotized by the blue glow from the TV, and Trin is laying down sleeping. She sees something is wrong, and she calls out to him, and immediately this electronic entity that was getting into his head just disperses. I shot the scene with my wife actually over there holding onto the plug, and once she heard Lanny's voice, plug was pulled and Chris knew where to go. There was a script for this, and my two lead actors read it, but I knew their relationship together, how they are, and I wanted them to just read it and have a more naturalistic approach, so whatever felt right for them to say in that moment, that they would just say it. The scene with the mirror was actually probably the hardest scene to direct during this film, because I kept actually catching myself in the mirror as I was directing them and shooting the picture. So I had to stop a few times and figure out my placement in correlation to Lanny's placement. It was a very fun thing to shoot because I had to figure it out, and just having two moving parts, myself in the room trying not to be in the mirror, and my wife in the other room trying to unplug the plug at the perfect timing of when Trin calls Dev's name. So the third scenario in the film is when Trin and Dev are actually enjoying themselves, reminiscing on how things used to be in their lives. And this is the big moment when the entity makes itself known to both of them, that it is right at their doorstep. And if you can tell from this scene, since the beginning of the film, it has progressively become darker and darker. There's more shadows to the picture, and that is because I wanted there to be a sense of dread throughout. Just that danger is upon them, like the shadow is hugging them in some way. Yeah, although there is the lights from the apartment and the lights from their candles, they can't get away from what is following them. As they might try, yet they cannot. Dev actually makes a very big decision in this scene where he decides that they need to leave. And he separates himself from his wife here, which is a very big mistake because he is already weakened to this entity's grasp on his mind. And that really comes into fruition on the final sequence of this film, where Dev is packing up and the TV once again turns on, but this time it is full force. It already has him, and it basically takes over him and leads him out into his demise. So I actually used one of my lights. One of the knobs is broken, so if I move it around, it goes from yellow to white. It won't stay on just one color. So I just flick that knob to create that sense of the static or the TV flickering, which was cool. I used something that I had that was broken in my favor. Also, about this final sequence, I was very much influenced by the ending of The Lighthouse. That is kind of where the visual look came from. How white the walls are, and just the very grainy nature. The Lighthouse was one of my favorite films of last year, and the scene where Robert Pattinson actually gets to go into the lighthouse really inspired this. That was basically my call back to that film, as well as the music at the end is reminiscent of the horn that is blasting from the lighthouse. So yeah, that's my film Static, and I really hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching.